Good to go.
We're on?
Yeah.
I need a
Oh,
secretary.
I just have to, there you go.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't-
Okay.
So it's an
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So I had to pick up the basketball team on as a flip.
I didn't hear that.
Michelle,
I didn't
that
hear
was, I
that.
heard that last evening, but it could be a rumor.
I mean, I didn't hear that from my brother or
You would
anything.
know, you
Okay,
would.
we're waiting on Rhonda. She comes in when it's done.
That's what they're saying, that it's a great excuse for playing the number one team in the state.
Can't get his lift out of there.
But they're probably number 2 or 3.
It's been like 3 hours. I see you. Get a taxi in town. Mr. Prestipine, did you get the bills? Yeah, there it is. There it is. Go here.
Maybe sometime, I think we're gonna have a session over those bills for the grant for you.
Ready, Rhonda?
Oh,
I think they're
okay.
the whole building us.
You're talking about the medical, it's called MAT.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have one, thank you.
Here.
What day next week?
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Scott is out of town.
Go. Let's call to order the Lawrence County Prison Board meeting this Wednesday, March 18th, 2026. Roll call, please.
Dave Lamacusa,
Yes.
Controller Pestline,
Here.
Judge Cox.
Here.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Here.
Sheriff Martwinsky,
Here.
and Commissioner Vogel.
Here.
Meeting has been called to order. I'd like to remind everyone that this meeting is being recorded both audio and visual recording devices. Everyone has had an opportunity to receive a copy of the minutes. Minutes were signed off from last meeting, which was on February 18th, 2025 by Sheriff Martwinsky, and they've been disseminated to all prison board members. Everyone had an opportunity to review those minutes. Are there any changes, additions, or omissions to those minutes that anyone would like to raise at this time?
Chairman,
Yes,
just want to note, I was in Harrisburg that day. I was unable to attend, so accordingly, I'll abstain when we take a vote.
thank you, sir.
Thank you.
If there are no additions or corrections, I'd ask for a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes.
Motion's been made and seconded. Seconded by Judge Cox. Roll call, please.
Dave Lamacusa,
Yes.
Controller Pestline,
Yes.
Judge Cox.
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Sheriff Martwinsky,
Yes.
and Commissioner Vogel.
I will abstain, please. Thank you.
Motion carries.
The minutes have been approved. We're now moving to line item number 3. Review the population report and personnel report. Gordon?
Currently, we have 154 inmates at the Williams County Jail. We have 5 juveniles. We have 18 females. We have 13 of our inmates at other facilities for separation for purposes. And we also are holding 8 from other counties at the jail currently.
Absent the events from last night related to an inmate having to go to the hospital, are there any inmates that Lawrence County is being billed for or we are paying monies for incarcerating those inmates at other facilities?
No, sir.
Anyone have any questions related to the population report and personnel report? If there are no questions, take a roll call so we can accept this report.
Dave Lamacusa,
Yes.
Controller Pestline,
Yes.
Judge Cox.
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Sheriff Martwinsky,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogel.
Yes.
And I would say that I asked for a roll call for a vote before a motion was made to accept it. So retroactively, would someone like to make a motion to accept this?
So move.
Seconded?
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. I apologize for being a bit anxious about that. The bills, everyone has been given a copy of the bills. Are there any questions related to the bills? Gordon, what is Two Crew?
It's a company that we utilize to do repairs at the jail. A lot of electronics and issues with the cameras that we have.
Are there any further questions related to the bills?
What's Department of Labor?
Department of Labor?
Some boiler certificates.
Oh, just like approvals and state licenses.
Oh, it is control.
Yes.
State,
Yeah, boiler and vessel certificates.
they're expensive.
Looks like there was 19 of them total.
Any additional questions? Seeing no additional questions, can I get a motion to approve the bills?
I'll make the motion to approve the bill.
A second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
DA Lamakusa,
Yes.
Controller Prestipine,
Yes.
Judge Koch,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Sheriff Markowski,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler.
Yes.
Approval of the bills has been made by motion, seconded, and voted on. Moving to line item 5, full business. There are several items of full business. Please forgive me if I forget to address them. Please feel free after we go through it. If there's matters of old business that we touched upon that need to be addressed, please bring them up. First matter was, we discussed a proposal for a dedicated judicial window for magistrate hearings. Now, at the last session, we talked about the need to have some sort of scheduled window for magistrate hearings because magistrate hearings disrupt operations, stress manpower, and create some logistical difficulty for the jail in the continuity of its operations. That was discussed, and I did send out the proposal. I requested a proposal from the jail, and the proposal that was provided was disseminated to everyone on the prison board. The purpose of today is to request some sort of consensus from the prison board to submit this to the president judge for ultimately his determination. This is not a decision that we can make as a prison board. It's for the president judge to decide. But if we have an agreement and a proposal that we would like you to consider, then what I'll be asking for is a motion to submit it to the president judge for consideration. So everyone has received a copy of this proposal for optimization of video hearing protocols and compliance. And I will note that within the proposal itself, it does talk about the benefits to the facility itself. And it also talks about satisfaction of the mandatory OTM requirement, which is really ensuring that the magistrates provide proper information to the Lawrence County Jail so they can perform the functions of these hearings. Does anyone have any questions about the proposal itself?
Again, it's not really hearings, as sometimes you and I think of hearings, it's more of arraignment, preliminary arraignment,
Yes,
things of that nature.
yes, sir. And I also would like to state, I know this was made clear, that the Court of Common Pleas, the jail regularly is in communication with the Court of Common Pleas, and scheduling of Court of Common Pleas matters has not been an issue. This is specific to magisterial district judges and their court for some of their proceedings. So if there are no questions related to this matter, then I would ask for a motion so that we could submit this proposal to the president judge for consideration.
Also move.
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call.
DeLa Macusa,
Yes.
Controller Prestipine,
Yes.
Judge Cox,
But then I abstain.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Sheriff Martinez,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler.
Yes.
Motion's been made and passed, and I will stress that this is just a proposal that we are submitting for consideration by the President Judge. This does not compel the court to do anything. The President Judge wants to make changes, certainly the President Judge has that right, that option. Second matter of old business was the matters specific to the live scan machine. And when I say matters, I'm talking about a fee amount that is to be assessed in the amount of $150 for each individual processed through the Lawrence County Jail using the live scan system. There's two matters. One was the discussion that we had regarding the amount of money, and the number that ultimately was settled upon was an amount that would cover the cost of the live scan machine itself, give or take a few $100s, based upon its past usage or based upon the number of inmates that would be processed through. So it's a break-even proposition with the ability that if there are more people that are live scanned at the jail, then it would obviously be a benefit to Lawrence County. That was one matter discussed. And then another matter is there would have to be the creation of a revenue line item attached to live scan. A copy of a draft order that would have to be submitted to the President Judge for an administrative order that would cover this, as was provided to each of you. Are there any questions related to that draft court order template? And again, we are not enacting this. We are just submitting it to the President Judge for consideration, whether or not he wants to generate an administrative order.
Is this money, is it paid through like the clerk of court's office? Is that how it's collected?
That, I'm not exactly sure. I guess it would have to be assessed to the case, is probably what would happen.
I was instructed that it would be provided by the court costs.
Okay,
Just like
So
a
it
court
goes to
cost,
the-
like the central booking fee or something like that.
so then it would just
Go
be
to the
attached to
clerk of
the
court.
case and be collected the way
Okay.
all their fees and costs are collected. Are there any additional questions related to this proposed order? At this time, could I have a motion for this court order to set the live scan fee at $150 to be submitted to the President Judge for his consideration?
I'll move, but I do have a question.
Yes, sir.
Once you have a second.
Sure.
You want to get your second? Or do you want me to ask my
Ask the
question?
question. Sure.
And forgive me, it may have just been answered. And if it was, it went over my head and I apologize. Who pays this fee?
The defendant.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
My motion stands.
Motion has been made. Is there a second?
I'll second.
One of those two.
Pick one.
Your choice, Ron. Well, we have our favorites. Motion has been made and seconded. Can I get a vote?
DeLa Macusa,
Yes.
Controller Prestipine,
Yes.
Judge Cox,
Abstain.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Sheriff Martinez,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler.
Yes?
Motion has been made, seconded, and passed. Controller Prestipine. Obviously, we have to wait to see what the President Judge does, but if it is approved, then we would need the creation of that. Line item.
Is there a time frame you're looking at as far as how long does it take to create a line item?
2 minutes.
Oh, okay. So it's not like, okay,
No,
I just didn't know.
no, I don't just leave the order and I just go in the computer and
Okay,
create one.
okay.
I would have tried to do it, but I don't understand the employee portal.
Yeah.
I'm just happy when I can approve payroll. I don't do that. The last matter of old business that I have, I requested an information audit, an audit done at the jail that is related to how information is disseminated and who has control of that information at various levels. Deputy Warden Simmons, please can you tell us what was done?
Absolutely. I did an information systems audit on many different things within our facility. Our internal server, our live scan access, our offender management system access, tablet access, phone access, the key box access, commissary access, as well as a Guardian RFID tour system access to that. All systems were audited. All systems were confirmed that only current employees have access, and those employees that are supposed to have access to certain rights and user changes have those rights, and everything came up like it should have.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Does anyone have any questions about the audit that was performed? Sheriff Martwinsky, I completed, I think it was last week or the week before that, the security audit from the feds,
Right.
maintain your office spaces and all that stuff. That actually was more than 2 weeks ago because that's what prompted the request to the jail.
Okay.
I think all law enforcement has to do the same.
Yes.
Now, within old business, I'm just going to move this to new business, but I did ask the jail for an updated list of what projects are currently underway and what projects they're planning. So we're sort of split halfway. So I'll move that into new business. But is there any old business that would like to be discussed? There's no old business. Let's move to new business. Morgan, can we get your update, please?
On,
State of the jail and finances.
as far as the budget goes and things like that, I think we're doing well. Like you mentioned, we've got the projected cost for all these projects that we have coming up. And a lot of it has been encumbered, and it all doesn't have to be done this year. We're trying to get done what we can with the money that we have.
Okay, well then, why don't we just delve into that so that the prison board is aware of what projects we're talking about. Over the last, let's say 5 years, there has been a consistent push to update the facility at the jail to make the necessary renovations that need to be made in anticipation of, really just trying to stop a situation where we get an enormous bill because we failed to do proper maintenance at the facility. And so it has been, through the support of the prison board and the commissioners, there have been consistent improvements made. This list represents a list of projects that are underway with the idea that there are a couple other things that would like to be done. Now, all of these repairs and all of this planning is done with the backdrop and within the confines of the budget that was given to the jail by the County of Florence. So one of the projects which is in place right now is the replacement of all broken glass within the building. The money that was necessary for this was encumbered already, so it's not going to affect this year's budget. And that is an ongoing process. Timeline, what are we looking at?
They were actually paid about a week and a half ago, and they had to order some of the windows. I would estimate probably 2 to 3 weeks they'll come in and start placing some of the glass.
The number of panes or windows that need to be repaired, is it something that can be completed within the next 30 days?
I believe so, yes, sir.
So at the next prison board meeting, it's either we're going to be almost done or we're done.
Yes.
The second item of repairs that need to be made is there needs to be controllers and new software installed for the heating and cooling system. This is something that the jail would like to address this year. And there's an estimated cost for that of approximately $15,000. We do have within the budget monies available to make these repairs. So that's going to be something we're going to be exploring in the next month or two. Is that correct, Ward?
Yes, sir.
There is a request to fix the Bravo Rec Yard air handler. That is has an estimated cost of $6,120, but is not an item that needs to be addressed at the present moment. So that's something that's going to go in the back burner so we don't incur that cost. And that's based upon your assessment. Is that correct, Warden?
Yes, sir.
Replacement of all outside lighting for the facility. This has been an ongoing venture. It is in process. And have we paid for it already?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That was to the total of $3,000, and our own maintenance guys are the ones that are actually installing.
I think there's 2 light poles left. Three, total of 3, and we'll be done with that.
Do we have them?
Yes,
Oh, we already have them. So it's just a matter of installation.
yes,
Okay, so this is something within the next 30 days could be wrapped up.
yes, sir.
Weather
Weather permitting.
Refurbishment of the elevators. This is ongoing. This has already been encumbered. And I believe you had a shipment date for the final parts necessary for,
April 24th?
that's when they're going to ship out.
Yes.
And then do you have any idea how long it's going to take now?
This time I don't.
The good news is we've already paid for this. It's been out of a previous budget. It's just a matter of getting the parts and having them finish the job. Replacement of the heaters in the vehicle vestibule. Could you please explain what happened?
What happened up there was the water pipes and the heaters with the fans were over 30 years old. It got so cold this year during the winter that they froze, they broke, and our vehicle Sally port, we just had water running everywhere up there. Did some damage to our ceiling. We have since capped that off, and but it does need replaced up there with the water lines and the heaters.
I know that we had an opportunity to take a look at the budget together, and I understand that you have submitted a purchase order for this,
Yes, sir.
and it totals $49,870. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes, sir.
Deputy Warden Simmons, I know you do a lot with the inspection. Is this an area that they inspect that is required to your?
Absolutely. Yeah, they will inspect it for cleanliness, make sure that everything's working properly, and grade us accordingly.
And you've not requested a transfer of additional monies or moved monies to cover this expense.
Yes, sir.
So this is covered within your line item.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
am
sir.
I in order to ask a question?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Would this be something that might fall under our P Corp insurance? If it was an internal break, it was not an external line, it was an internal line, is that correct? Have we approached our insurance carrier about this? Is it worth asking that question?
Absolutely. I don't know what the county's deductible is, but I can't imagine it's $48,800, $49,870.
I should know the answer to that, I don't. However, I would suggest running this past Mr. Vanasco. The worst they can tell us is no.
Right, that's a great idea. And controller, I don't know where the purchase order is in the process, but maybe if it's still within your office, if you could hold it until we have an answer from the business administrator.
I'll check where it's at.
That's a great, that's a
Thank-
great idea.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. The next item was replace aging and deteriorating doors. This was already in process. It was encumbered last year. And so what are we waiting for? Just them to come and do it?
Yes, what happened was one company sold it to another company and kind of dropped the ball on it. But we did encumber like $20,000 out of our 2025 budget. So I mean, we're estimating it could be like 27,000. So it's not going to be the full 27,000 if we have it encumbered from 2025.
And then finally, it was replace the keypads and controllers for the heating boilers. This was to the tune of $19,940, and this money has already been encumbered and it's in process.
Yes, sir.
So when I look at the list that was provided, the total projects, we are only talking about this year expenses, $15,000 for the controllers and software for the heating and cooling system, and then assuming the insurance does not cover it, another $49,870. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. And a few more thousand with the deteriorating
Doors, if that went on, right? Okay. And all this from your existing budget.
Yes, sir.
Any questions related to the projected projects that are either, well, the new projects or any ongoing projects at the facility? Beyond this list that you provided, are there any additional projects that you're seeing? I know you can't forecast problems.
Not that we forecast or foresee.
Any additional questions?
As you had mentioned, we have repaired and replaced a lot of items over the last 3 to 4 years. And it's very much appreciated to have the support from the prison board and everybody that has had a hand in it, because it has made a big difference over at the jail.
The next matter of new business, again, well, yeah, it'd be new business for the prison board. It involves the signing of a contract that with Allegheny County for medical housing of adults and juveniles. Now, ultimately, the signing of any contract is within the sole purview of the Lawrence County Commissioners, but as it relates specifically to the jail, has that contract been signed?
It's been signed on our end. I'm still waiting for Allegheny County to get back with me with their final signature.
And the idea behind this is when we have an inmate who requires emergency, or not emergency, but medical care that we do not have the capacity to perform, that they would be transferred to Allegheny County to get that type of medical care.
Yes, sir.
And that would be a secure facility at the Allegheny County Jail.
Yes, sir.
Would that eliminate the need then for the sheriff's office to have to sit with the individual while receiving medical treatment?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. I know that creates a substantial burden for you and your personnel. Okay, so we're just waiting on them to sign. Are there any questions? Oh, what's the cost?
$171 a day.
$171 a day. Sheriff, what is the estimated cost for you sitting on an inmate at the UPMC, James?
It's about $1,000 a day in overtime.
If I could just add for the record, as with all contracts, you were correct in noting that commissioners have the responsibility of approving and signing those contracts. And that contract did go through a public meeting. It was voted on by the commissioners.
Oh, thank you. So I was not aware of that. Thank you. Before we get into the juvenile financials, there was a statistic that I was given from the facility. I requested, I wanted to try and get a better sense of the mental health status that has been diagnosed at the Lawrence County Jail of its inmate population. The information that was provided to me is more than 80% of our prison inmates are voluntarily taking psych medications. And that's coming through Prime Care. So Prime Care, after their assessment of the inmates or the individual patient, they're making that recommendation. Doctors are signing off on that. I bring up that percentage and I requested that because I know that sometimes there are additional monies from MHDS that are specific to providing mental health treatment. And this is an area that I would like to explore with Scott Baldwin and mental health to see if there can be some sort of subsidy to the jail that may assist in the expense related to this. If the prison board would like me to pursue that option, certainly I will. I don't think I need a vote for that, but I guess we could take one. If you'd like me to explore that, see if we can get a subsidy from MHDS to help offset some costs. If I get a motion for that.
District Attorney, Deputy Spielvogel has actually statistics that you'd probably like to read.
Right?
If it's okay if I just
Absolutely.
interject. In the course of putting a lot of these things together, in preparing things, I felt that maybe that there needed to be some information passed along to new prison board members as well as maybe the general public if they're, listening in. I put something together for the month of March. So from March 1st to date, our average daily population for the month of March to date is 155 inmates. And Sheriff Martwinsky would have specific data for this, but as I was putting stuff together, there might have been a day or two that I did miss with this. But we have hearings scheduled pretty much every day requiring the movement of inmates within the facility and then being transported to the courthouse by sheriff's deputies. And the number to date, plus or minus 76, I don't think that that's I sort of lowballed these numbers just to be on the safe side. that at one point in time, there was a day that there were 22 different hearings scheduled that sheriff's deputies, our corrections officers had to retrieve the inmates from their units, take them to booking, sheriff's deputies pick them up.
Deputy Warden, if I could just stop you for a second. So we can absolutely discuss these statistics,
Okay.
but anything specific to the mental health that we're talking about at the moment?
You're correct with the mental health, that they have, of our average 155 inmates daily, there are 105 inmates that are diagnosed with and being treated for some type of mental health disorder, ranging from anxiety to schizophrenia. We have a dedicated psych line every Tuesday, and receiving the information from our Prime Care Medical every Tuesday. The average is between 13 to 15 inmates to be transported to medical, to be on that psych line, whether it's to
Every week.
every week, every Tuesday, there are that number of inmates that go, whether it's just like a regular visit to discuss their medication that they're taking, if it needs raised or lowered. If it's a new intake coming in, then they have to get some baseline information from them. And then sometimes it's somebody new coming in that they feel they need to speak to our psychiatrist that is on staff, and it is through a video process that they come. That's why it's the psych line. They are transported to our medical area, and they have the time alone individually with the doctor.
So there's substantial mental health involvement within it.
I was quite surprised with those numbers. I knew that we had quite a few, but
Yeah, I'm
it was
shocked.
over 80%.
That being said, are there any other
I apologize.
statistics connected to that?
That's the numbers that I would do for that.
If I
Yes.
could get a motion to discuss with MHDS perhaps some subsidies or the ability to partially compensate the facility for our involvement in treating mental health issues within Orange County.
I'll make the motion.
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Vote?
Haley Makusa,
Yes.
Controller Prestopine,
Yes.
Judge Cox,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Chair Bartwinsky,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler.
Yes.
Motion's been made, seconded, and voted upon. I will schedule a meeting with Scott Baldwin. And I will give the prison board an update at our next meeting. Deputy Warden Spill, the statistics that you were giving us about transports, are those transports connected to Court Common Pleas, or are those transports connected to magisterial district justices? What are they?
I'd say the majority of them are Court of Common Pleas.
Okay, so this is something that obviously there's a lot of movement back and forth
Yes.
by the sheriff's department bringing
Yes.
people. Have these numbers remained fairly consistent over? And I know I'm putting you on the spot with this, but is it fairly consistent over the last 6 months?
I would say so. I would say, now when our population is lower, then of course there's less movement. But I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we've been over 150 at least the last 3 to 4 months. Maybe at the beginning of the year at 150, maybe lesser at the end of December.
And it's my understanding that whether it's the court administrator, I'm not exactly sure who contacts you, but that is a process that is well-defined and has not created
Yes.
any problems.
None at all.
We've been able to satisfy the needs that work on please. Yes. Are there any other statistics?
And so then we talk about the video hearings that we have that involve other types of hearings. And within the 13 working days, the court days, we've had upwards of plus or minus 20 of them. Sometimes there's 3 or 4 a day, other times none, but it's a number that, again, I think I lowball that number. But it does happen throughout the day. We get the calls through the magistrates. If we have temporary inmates that come in that need to be processed, that's where the scheduling would help out a whole lot for those types of things with the hearings that happen within the facility. But we do have to have the corrections officers move them from either the booking area or from the unit to the Polycom locations and then stand by for that for the hearing.
Any other statistics? And we'll get to the juveniles in a second.
Yeah, I just started putting some numbers together and, we have a doctor line every Thursday, 25 plus inmates request to visit with that doctor. The doctor does come in, speak with them. We have our MAP programming. Right now, at this point in time, we have 17 inmates that require assistance every day for their medically assisted treatment programming that they have. They go to the medical area every day. Most of it happens during the day, but we have split it up so that we do have some of the inmates going in the afternoon. I guess the gist of what I wanted to say was there's so much activity going on and happening throughout the day. Any bit of some type of scheduling would be able to help us.
So
with
consistency, having
consistency would
consistent
be, yes,
hearings would be beneficial to
yeah,
at least the internal operations.
Yes, sir.
yes, correct,
Okay.
yes, thank you.
Let's move to juveniles. Unless there's any other questions related to what the Spillvogel was just provided. Seeing none. We are at $445,800 has been billed for the housing of juveniles for the months of January, February, and March has not gone out.
March has not gone out. That includes some of the earlier months from the previous year.
And we've collected a total of $353,400.
The only remaining outstanding balances are from the month of February.
And this is not including March.
No, not at all.
Okay. So, and I believe our revenue line item was set at, I think it's 1.7.
7, I think.
1.7. So this keeps us on track to hit that revenue amount. Actually, it's a little bit more, but yeah, we're right in line with where we should be. But one of the things that we discussed at the last meeting was I requested to know what is the jail's plan for not only maintaining this unit, but is there an expansion of the interests of justice, the IOJ juveniles that we are holding? And I understand that Deputy Warden Spillvogel,
Yes.
please.
So at the last board meeting, it was suggested that we seek the approval of contracts for the Western Region counties. And I did it, as you said, I put that line straight down the western third of the state. And there are actually 13 counties that I will be visiting to do an in-person meeting with either their prison board or the commissioners, because it was the commissioners that would sign the contract. I have sent emails and will follow up with personal phone calls. I have tracked when they have their prison board meetings to be able to put a calendar together. I'm hopeful the month of April we'll get that preliminary visits done to see them at the counties and go through the process, whether it be their prison board that would have to make the recommendation, as we do to the commissioners for signing of a contract. And if there would be a return that would be necessary, I would do that. But I will go with contracts in hand for those particular counties with their county names in there and their contact people, so that I can leave it with them. If it's a process that they could go through without me returning, if not, I would return to get that done.
Do you believe that you could have sort of face-to-face contact with all 13 of these counties by the end of April?
I believe so, yes.
Well then, unless there's any specific question, now I'm assuming, of course, you'll go with contracts in hand, but also they'll be providing materials on all the
Yes.
stuff that you've
Yes.
done for the IOJ program.
Yes, absolutely.
I know that there's a lot of information, and I'm not always sure that other areas know all the things that you guys are doing.
And they probably don't. I think what happens is we'll get a call from a county when they do get a juvenile. So in essence, this will actually be proactive in having that bit of panic. What do I do? I have a juvenile here. I don't know where to send them. Oh, Lawrence County has a facility. I have a name. I have a number. We already have a contract. We can make the phone calls. Most times we make a contract retroactively because they cannot hold the juvenile at their facility for more than a certain amount of time. So I think this will definitely work in both counties' favor.
Does anyone have any questions related to this?
If I may, I was looking back, and maybe Mr. Kennedy can help me. Deputy Warden Spillvogel would remember this. our county belongs to a group of counties known as the Northwest County Commissioners Caucus, I believe it's referred to. And we meet quarterly. Our last meeting was out in Indiana County, I think, Dan, and I was looking to see when that was. I couldn't put my finger on it. I thought it was in January, but it was in January. So February, March, April, either April or May, they'll be convening again. And I'm just thinking out loud here, and you would know most of the people at that meeting. Would it be worth our while to see if former Commissioner Spielvogel could attend that meeting? Or we could maybe ask if she be put on the agenda and make a presentation to, again, this is the commissioners from the northwestern corner of the state. But, I'll defer to Mr. Kennedy as well, because he's familiar with this group. I don't know what this would be, and you certainly
Correct.
dealt with it. Maybe it's not the way you'd like to do it.
No, that's a very good idea. I did not think of Northwest. Yeah, very good idea.
If the prison board wouldn't object, between Mr. Kennedy and myself, we could talk to the leadership of that group, see if they'd be willing to allow Deputy Warden Spielvogel to be on the agenda to speak.
I think that's a fantastic
Very good
idea.
idea.
You have all the leadership in one spot. And, you know, Deputy Warden would be making these individual house calls, and then it would culminate in the presentation of the full
Right.
program to everyone. I know there's money in the travel account. There's obviously a vehicle that's available. If the vehicle's not available, then it's, you just do a reimbursement.
Sure.
I seem to recall, and Dan, help me, they haven't established a date yet, but I also believe it's in Jefferson County. They do it alphabetically from Indiana to Jefferson. Coincidentally, I think we're next, but that's in the summer. But I don't believe they've established a date yet for that.
No, they haven't.
Okay, so when we get that date, the other thing, I'm racking my brain here. Commissioner McGonigal from Mercer County was the chair, but did his term expire at the end of the calendar year?
Yeah.
And now I'm sitting here trying to remember who took his place, and I'm coming up with a blank.
So am I.
Okay, we'll find that out. Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
if we could have a person from Lawrence County, Deputy Warden Spielvogel will speak at that and to talk about the program, it's a fantastic opportunity.
And more than likely, depending on our schedules, all three commissioners usually try to attend those meetings. And again, she'll be in friendly territory, because
Absolutely.
except for the real new commissioners, they all know her.
Very good.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there any other new business? Seeing none, I would move to visitor comments. If you have any visitors. And lastly, we would move to executive session. I would like to make a motion to move to executive session to discuss personnel matters. Can I get a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Vote?
Dave Amakusa?
Yes.
Controller Prestipine?
Yes.
Judge Cox?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Sheriff Martinsky?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowman?
Yes.
We will move to executive session. Yeah, we gotta shut that down. Close the, lock the thing down, see if the camera goes down. Are we
Of
good?
course,
Yep.
mango.
Could I get a, motion to come out of executive session? Please?
I'll make the motion.
Motion's been made, second?
Second.
DA Lamakusa?
Yes.
Controller Prestipine?
Yes.
Judge Cox?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Sheriff Martinsky?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowman?
Yes.
There are, no votes to be taken, and matters discussed during the executive session involve personnel from the Lawrence County Jail. At this time, I would make a motion for adjournment. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and second. Vote?
DA Lamakusa?
Yes.
Controller Prestipine?
Yes.
Judge Cox?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Sheriff Martinsky?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowman?
Yes.
This meeting is adjourned.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who else.